Ah, yes, the infamous Italian sausage and peppers. This is how I do it. I also put in some mushrooms too. But basically, the goal here is in a nonstick pan. You're probably going to need a nonstick pan of some sort. This happens to be an Oxo Good Grips 12-inch. I'll put links down below in the description. Also in the comment section, I'll also put links on the Amazon storefront. Just go to the kitchen and gadgets section. You'll find it. Basically, Oxo Good Grips 12-inch. This was the best one that I could find. And comes with a lid too, which is kind of nice. So anyways, what I did was, let me lift the lid on this so you can kind of see what's going on here. So basically what I did was, in the pan I put in about, I would say 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or you could use a combination of Mazola and olive oil. Like that kind of seems to work better. But what you want to do is cook your peppers first. So just the red bell peppers or green bell peppers, yellow, whatever peppers you decide to use, cook the peppers only first. Take them out of the pan, but try to leave the oil in there. So take them out of the pan, put them in a bowl. Then what you do is put your onion in. If you want to use onion. If you don't want to use onion, you don't have to. But put your onion in. Same thing. Reuse that same oil and cook your onions. Same thing. Medium-ish to low heat. So that would be high. This is medium. You want to be somewhere between like medium-ish to low heat. Cook your onions. Again, take them out of the pan. Try to leave as much oil in there as you can. If you need to re-lube, right, and get some more olive oil in there, or a combination of Mazola and olive oil, that's totally fine. Then what you want to do is your garlic. Drop your thinly sliced garlic into that oil. You're only going to cook it for about 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds the most. When you see that it starts getting like toasty, like just a little toasty, a little bit golden brown, take the garlic out, put it in the bowl, right? Then what you do is you may or may not need to add another little drop of olive oil or whatever. But at that point, then what you want to do is put your sausages in, right? And what I do is I put my sausages in the pan with a little bit of vinegar for tanginess. I put a little bit of salt, right? A little bit of pepper, and maybe like a splash of vermouth or red wine or whatever it is you want to use, and cover it. Like you saw, I had the lid on covered. Basically covering it with the liquid in there helps to like boil the sausage from the outside in so that it cooks, just so it gets properly cooked. And now we're at this point now, right? So my bell peppers, my onions, my garlic is over here. I may add some mushrooms later. I think I'm going to add some mushrooms later. But we're at this point now where now some of this beautiful liquid that's in there is starting to, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. Caramelize, help to give a nice browning on the sausage, right? Help to give a nice color to the sausage, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recover this with the lid and let this cook for another minute or two, just so that this side can now get some of that browning and that caramelization. By the way, if you happen to have a piece of bread, a little panini bread or whatever, dip it in there. That sauce right now is amazing. But for what it's worth right now, my sausage is cooked. I know from experience that it's cooked from the inside, like it's all up to temperature and everything else. What I'm just trying to do now is trying to get more of that caramelization, that browning. So let me pause for a second and I'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, and we're back. So this next step doesn't take that long, maybe a minute or two, because the sausage is already cooked, the pan's hot, you kind of get the idea. So now I've got this beautiful sauce here. What I want to do is I want to taste it, see if it needs salt or pepper or this or that or whatever, just to see what's going on. But at this point now, the key thing is to add back in the peppers, the onions, and the garlic, and all that oil, all that beautiful flavor that's in there. I want to make sure I get all that in there. There's a little piece of onion that's stuck around. Give yourself a good, or give the pan a good stir, right, to try to get some of this, those little drippings right there from the sausage. And look, if I turn my sausage over, boom, that's what I'm looking for. Look at how beautiful that caramelization is on the sausage. And you might get some stickage here and there or whatever, but no big deal. But now what I want to do is to blend all of this together. Let me add my mushrooms. Mushrooms are an absorbent. They're going to soak up a lot of that extra moisture. So what you may want to do is, if you like it more tangy, right, more tanginess, you can add a little more vinegar, right? This is just red wine vinegar, just a touch. Or you can add a little more vermouth, right? This is just vermouth. This happens to be from Gallo, just maybe like a tablespoon or two. Give this all a nice little stir and recover, right? So recover it. I'm going to let this go for about a minute just so all that can blend together. Shut off the heat and then just let it sit in the pan for maybe 5 minutes. All that carryover cooking, all that residual cooking, everything else will kind of help to homogenize this beautiful dish. By the way, ignore the copper chef. This is a lid from an old pan I used to have. But this pan, I guarantee you, is an Oxo Good Grips. Okay, so with that being said, like I said, I'm just going to let this go for about a minute or so. Shut off the heat and just let it sit for about 5 minutes. Give it a good mix and it should be ready to go. What you could do if you like it a little more crispy, less juicy, more juicy, whatever, you could always take the lid off, refry it if you want a little more of that fried action going on or whatever. But basically the dish is complete. The next step in the process, let me show you that. Let me pause for a sec. Okay, and we're back. So it's been about a minute or so. I've now had a chance for all those juices and liquids in there to kind of homogenize, mix with each other, kind of get, you know, a nice little blending action going on. I'm going to take the lid off and just see where I'm at. So I've got a little bit more liquid than I'd like. And this is fine. If you like it like this, that's totally fine. If you want a little extra saucy or whatever, that's totally fine. You could throw rice in here. You could throw pasta in here. You could do kind of, it's a limitless possibilities of what you can do with your sausage and peppers from this point. But because I want to make beautiful sandwiches, these are some panini that I got from a local Italian place. You know, try to get some nice soft bread. It'll add to this whole experience. But basically you're going to cut your bread in half, make a little sandwich. You kind of get a sense of what I'm trying to do here. So what I did was I took off the lid, right? Just so that I can help some of this liquid here to evaporate, right? And tighten up the sauce a little bit so that I get that nice, you know, dippable sauce. And as you can see, almost everything is completely cooked now. My mushrooms are just about there where I like them. You know, if you want to cook your mushrooms a little bit more, that's fine. If you wanted to cook your mushrooms separately, right? So you do the peppers, you do the onions, and then you do the mushrooms, right? You do those all separately. You could do that too. It's all kind of preference, whatever you like, but this is how I usually make this. So look at how beautiful that color is on the onion, the bell pepper. You kind of get a sense of what's going on there. And the sausages, see all those little brown bits have now kind of dissolved back into the sauce, giving it a little more flavor. And we are almost there. This would be a point where you could taste it. Again, you know, dip some bread in there, try everything, see if there's enough salt, enough pepper. You could add red pepper. You could use mild sausage, spicy sausage. You could use turkey sausage. I wouldn't do this, but you could use breakfast sausage and turn this into a breakfast thing if you wanted to. You know, whatever floats your boat, the possibilities are endless. So anyways, this is about where I like it. I think everything's pretty much there. I think the sauce is kind of where I want it. So at this point now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off, right? And then just recover it. So I'm going to recover it. The gas is completely off, right? We're turned off. The gas is off. I'm just going to leave this here for 5 minutes just to kind of settle, just so everything homogenizes. Yes, I weaponized a adjective into a verb. It homogenizes all together and blends together nicely. Give it that rest. I know the temptation here is to take the sausage out, put it in a bun, and just bite into it. You're literally gonna get an explosion in your mouth of, you know, 200 to 300 degree water, moisture, vapor, juices from that sausage. So you will burn your mouth. So just be careful. Let this cool back down to a decent temperature, maybe somewhere in the ballpark of like 110 degrees, 130 degrees, something like that. Then go ahead, cut your panini in half, make a little sausage, little sausage panini sandwich, put some onions on top, put some peppers on top, get some of those mushrooms in there and that garlic and everything else, and you're pretty much good to go. Anyways, I will put links down below in the description, also in the comments section, also on my Amazon storefront to all the stuff that I used today. I'm the Old Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting cooking Italian video.